The age-old question that I get asked all the time, and this is coming from somebody who has been teaching for almost 10 years, somebody who has been involved in education in some form or capacity for almost 15 years now, right? Talking about since my undergrad days, is how in the world do I know which college to attend, which college slash university to select? If you are a high school senior, or if you're someone who recently graduated high school and you're maybe taking a break trying to decide which institution is best for you, this video is for you. So Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. As always, if you could, please hit the like button, subscribe button, hit the notification button, even if you're not currently a high school student, or maybe you are a parent of a high school student. Maybe your child's having a hard time, or your little brother and sister's having a hard time. This video is still for you because you can share this video with them. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video right now is because this is the 1st of December. And around this time or shortly in some time span, maybe by January, February, a lot of students around the nation who have applied for colleges and universities will start getting their acceptance letters to their various institutions that they would like to attend. I'll never forget the date. It was December 8th, 2009. That's when I got my acceptance letter to the great Bethune-Cookman University. I was so excited. That was the first out of 10 colleges in which I had gotten accepted to. And I knew at that moment, this is the school that I definitely want to include within my top 5 list. My top choice was actually University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. I'm sorry, not University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. University of Maryland, College Park. That was my number 1 choice. And Bethune-Cookman was my 2nd choice. Now, I bring that up because there are several different factors that you want to consider in terms of choosing a school. We're going to go through this list today. So if you got a notepad, take some notes. Feel free to pause the video, maybe take some notes on your phone. Either way is cool. Number 1, I think the first important way to determine which school is best for you is cost, right? Now, the reason why I say cost is because although the experience is very important, although location is very important, although environment is very important, which we're going to get to environment in just a second, but I bring up cost effectiveness because the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to come out of school with a whole bunch of loans that you have to pay back. That is the one thing that I personally regret, and I wish I would have done differently. I wish I would have taken certain things seriously in terms of getting more scholarships, so I would have had less loans to take out and pay back later on. But nonetheless, it is what it is. I'm here now, and I'm making the most of it, right? But I tell my current students this all the time, and I will tell anybody this. I told my little brother and sister this as well, which they're both seniors. They'll be graduating in May, which is crazy how fast time flies by. But anyways, I tell people all the time to avoid loans at all costs. If you got to take out a loan for it, you got to ask yourself this question: is it too expensive? I get it. Everybody wants a great experience. There are a lot of people that want to get away from home because, out-of-state tuition is more than in-state tuition. If it's a public institution, obviously, if it's a private one, it's the same across the board. There's so many different factors right now. I will say this on Front Street. I don't regret my decision to go to Bethune-Cookman University whatsoever. I enjoyed my time there. I enjoyed my experience. I enjoyed the friends that I met. I enjoyed so much. It changed my life for the better in so many different ways. But if I could go back and do some things differently, I probably would have, right? So you want to make sure you can go to a school that essentially you can afford. That's the first step. That's very important. Second step is going to tie into environment, right? What type of environment are you looking for? Are you looking for a smaller class ratio? If that's the case, you want to go to a smaller institution. If you don't mind big lecture type of classes, then, you can apply to big institutions. So schools, where they have like small class sizes, Bethune-Cookman University, it was literally 15 students to 1 teacher, 1 professor, I should say, right? Very good example. Schools that have larger class sizes, UCF. Some of your classes might have 200-300 students, right? Especially when it's a lecture type of class. So, there's ways that you could do research online to figure all sorts of information out. Forgive me, you guys, that's the warning bell. You're probably going to hear the next bell. I'm on my lunch period right now, so I was like, let me go and record this video while I got some time. So cost effectiveness, environment. I think the third way that you could determine if that's a right choice for you is what majors do they offer, right? What do you want to study in terms of what you might potentially want to do in terms of your future career, right? You obviously don't want to go to the school just because it's a nice school, because they have great fraternities and sororities and whatnot. No, like, look into what you are ultimately studying. If you want to become a meteorologist and your school doesn't offer meteorology, then that's not a school that you want to go to. If you want to become an educator, but you know that the top low end, or the bottom low end, I'm sorry, of education fields, you might want to look into a different school. Start looking in schools that have a great education field. Some of the best of the best, if you will. If there's one thing I've learned, don't look for a school that has okay credentials when it comes to that major. Look at a school that has like some of the best. That you hear very, very high, that is spoken very highly of, if you will, right? Like, the one thing I can say about Bethune-Cookman University is Bethune-Cookman University has produced some amazing educators, myself included. Not to toot my own horn, but all my friends that went to Cookman and all of us that became educators, we went very, very far. Now, we all didn't stay in education long term. Much like myself, I don't plan on being in education, for my whole entire life. But the times that we were here, we did make a difference because of the things that we were taught there. You know what I'm saying? There are some schools that have a good law program. FAMU has a good law program. Howard, Harvard, all of them have very, very good law programs. So if you're interested in studying any form of law, those are schools that you want to look at, and so on and so forth. I talked about meteorology. Jackson State University is the only HBCU that I know of thus far that has that program. So if that's something that you're into, then you need to take your butt to Jackson State University. So it's different types of schools that you want to look at. Speaking of type of schools, sometimes your school choice might be a cultural thing, right? I grew up surrounded by family members who attended HBCUs all day. My stepmom went to Lincoln. My cousins, I had a handful of cousins that went to Morgan State University and Coppin State University. Those are two HBCUs located in Maryland. Lincoln is an HBCU located in Pennsylvania. My stepmom she also went to Towson. She went to Towson. Towson's not HBCU, but Towson's a PWI, but she went to Towson for her master's. So, my family is heavily HBCU influenced. In fact, most of my family was encouraging me to go to Morgan or go to Coppin, become a Morgan Bear or a Coppin Eagle, you know what I'm saying? But I took a totally different route, and I said, I'm going to become a Bethune-Cookman University Wildcat. And I was the first one in my family to actually graduate from a school out of state. I'm actually a first-generational college student. My parents, they did not finish college. My mom went to a community college, and she had me. My dad never went to college. Well, you're talking about biological parents, that is. My grandmother graduated from Coppin State University, but the rest of my grandparents did not attend college. So it's kind of a lot of things to uphold as a first-generational college student. And the magnitude of that really didn't hit me until after I graduated from undergrad. And matter of fact, I wouldn't even say after I graduated undergrad. I would say after I graduated with my master's. That's when it really hit me. To be the first person to do a bachelor's and a master's out of state, that was a pretty big deal. So, and that's another thing. If you're a first generational college student, sometimes it's a little bit more pressure in terms of what school you want to apply for and so on and so forth. But it's well worth it, to just, take that step out and be a trailblazer for what others may want to do and how they may want to follow and so on and so forth. And the last thing, in terms of picking your school, you have to pick a school that is going to coordinate, and this kind of ties into environment as well a little bit, but you want to pick a school that's going to coordinate with your, I guess, future, right? You want to go to a school that's going to help set you up for the next step. I tell my current students and, my former students in the past, I've told them this all the time, like, hey, when it comes to a school, what I want you guys to do is I want you to ask 1,000,001 questions. I want you to ask questions as if you were already there. And the reason being is because you have to start thinking futuristically. A lot of people, especially high school seniors, they have the mindset of, well, I'm not there yet, so I don't have to necessarily make decisions and so on and so forth. And while that's partially true, I also want to say that's partially capped. The reason why I say partial cap is because you have to realize that the more you plan for the future, the more you stand out and the better off you are, because opportunities are going to come your way, absolutely, and you need to be ready for them. I'm going to take the person who's more ready for the opportunity than the other who just talks about being ready for the opportunity. When you can show someone you're ready for an opportunity, it makes a heck of a difference. So to anybody who's watching this video, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to make it long term, because the name of the game is to stand out and longevity, right? They might be able to offer things while you're there, but if they can't offer you nothing once you leave, then to me that's a problem, and that's probably a school you shouldn't attend. So those are just my ways in which you could be on the lookout for ways that a school is best for you. Comment below, let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna do a few more videos about this as the month goes on for our daily December. I'm gonna be dropping a video every day. It's not necessarily gonna be about school, but just different subjects and whatnot, so make sure you stay tuned. Also, I have 2 more vlogs. Yeah, I have 2 more vlogs to drop from my Cali vacay/Cali slide. Hopefully, I will drop the 3rd one tomorrow. We'll see. If you have not seen the first 2, check those out. But this is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, inspire you to be a better you. Love you guys. Hope you have a great day, and see you guys soon. Peace.